Welcome to the war. So I know this has been a long time coming, but I finally got my Wars of the Roses project to a point where I'm excited to share what I've got done here. This is, again, I know I went kind of quiet on this project for a while, chipping away at it, all while moving house, but I couldn't find a point to break and just say like, okay, I'm going to give a hobby update. I would feel a little odd, like just doing like, here's one unit I made, so or painted. So I know this has been a while, and maybe everyone's forgotten that I even started this, but kind of diligently chipped away at it, and I'm excited to show off. Not only do I have my Yorkist force here, but I've also got the Lancastrians ready too, along with some Mercenaries. So I'm going to go through kind of the unit by unit guide of what I did here and what I got, and yeah, excited to share what we got and share what's next. So let's go unit by unit. Okay, so the eagle-eyed will probably also notice from my last video I made about Wars of the Roses that I've actually got some additional miniatures here, which is the nature of wargaming, right? You can never have enough. So I did buy some additional models, mostly command models, but yep, you can see here on the Yorkist side, I bought this Perry Miniatures Richard Neville command figure, and I was actually able to paint this. This is the very last model I painted. I finished it yesterday. And not only did it was one of the quickest models I've ever painted. It took all of half an hour, mostly thanks to contrast paint and dry brushing. But I was also able to, in that time, have one of the worst disasters I've ever had with the paint pot. It absolutely exploded over my painting table, sofa, rug. Anyway, thanks, Army Painter. But aside from that, finished painting him, and I intentionally added that tuft in the middle of the flowers to represent that Richard Neville switched sides on both sides of the conflict. So wanted to have a little nod there. That's one of the cool things. Again, coming into this project, really not knowing a great deal about it all, learning some stuff. And I've only just scratched the surface. So yeah, excited to keep learning more. So anyway, enough rabbiting about that. Let's start over here. So archers, and I'm going to preempt this. I know I've gotten a few comments that I don't have enough archers for the period. Totally right. It's just I will absolutely get more. Just don't feel like painting them all at once. So this is very much like one of those projects. Like I've learned enough now that I'm not just coloring in the coloring page. I'm kind of working outside of the borders a little bit. So made a few creative choices that I wanted to have. But here at the back, you can see I've got this unit of bowmen here. And that flag is a guy named Thomas Lumley. And then down here, this unit of heavy cavalry, the Kingmaker himself here. And then this unit, I gave them all of the flags of Richard Neville. And also, just to note, I included, the way I've done these, again, I remember saying I use these Oathmark modular bases. I still really love those. But I've designed this in a way that I have a lot of extra command models and a lot of extra Freezy water flags. So I'm going to make up a number of other command teams, basically, that I can switch in and out of these. I don't think that the uniforms are not so colored or specific, right? Like the coats of arms, the liveries, that I couldn't do that. So I think that might be a neat way just to add a little bit more flavor and put a little bit more variety on there. Then over at the back here, this unit of bowmen is led by William Neville. See his flag there. Then I've got this unit of foot knights. I didn't give them a command base. I finished them before I started ordering all these other command models, but that's definitely one that will be an addition. Then I've got some light cavalry here. And again, another addition, I bought this cannon. I like that. I did also buy the Perry Miniatures Bombard. Who couldn't resist that? But I haven't built that, and B, I don't have rules for it with Warhammer Historical. We'll talk about the rules later. But anyway, in a nutshell, that's the force for the side of York. And now we'll switch over to the Lancastrians. All right, so the House of Lancaster is led by this guy and his standard bearer here. This is the, he's Lord Clifford. And again, I used the livery banner there. And over here, I have this unit of foot knights. They're led by the Earl of Northumberland. See, cool command model there in the front and center. I have this unit of heavy cavalry or mounted men-at-arms. They're led by the Earl of Devon. And then just lastly, I've got this unit of Bill led by the Duke of Exeter. And I didn't know this. Oh, sorry. Let me back up over here. And then just this unit of archers or bowmen is led by the Duke of Somerset. See his model there. Now I know all of these kind of dukes and earls and knight leaders. I'm trying to think of the word that I'm looking for. Nobility. Led a lot more men than just this. I'm sure this guy led more than just a handful of archers, but as an aesthetic, I liked having all the different flags. Who doesn't love having all that panoply in their force? So I wanted to add as many flags as I can, just to, again, put that variety out there. And I was just gonna say, I unwittingly, oh shoot, now I'm forgetting the name of the battle, but basically, all of these commanders were all present at one battle. Is it the Battle of Wakefield, I want to say? Don't hold me to that. I know someone will correct me on that. But yeah, I think that's kind of cool. And again, they weren't all picked from, it's not like I bought a flag sheet that was all the Battle of Wakefield or whatever battle it was. They just kind of all came together like that. And as I was putting together one last unit, I realized like, oh, looking through like, you know, was there any kind of connectivity here or anything that connects these people? And yeah, it was that battle. So that was kind of cool. So lastly, and again, this is where we're really stretching some liberties here. We've got our 2 units of mercenaries. I've got a unit of mercenary crossbowmen with this flag. Try and get in there. And this unit of Swiss pikemen. And I mean, who doesn't want a flag with a red goat leading on it? I think that really stood out to me as interesting. Now, I'm going to be fully transparent. I ordered, again, from Freezy Water Flags, this unit of mercenary or Swiss mercenary flags. They're absolutely not anyone that arguably, I don't even know, didn't even set foot in England, let alone be part of this conflict, the Wars of the Roses. I know that for a fact. I picked them purely because I didn't, like, yellow was a color I restricted on the palette with everyone else or with all of the other units. And I thought that might be an interesting thing just to sort of make the mercenaries stand out a little bit, make them a little different on the battlefield. So I thought that was the intent behind there. I know absolutely these people, specifically these flags, never flew at any of these battles, or incredibly unlikely. If there's a record of that, I don't have it. But I was intentional about picking the color, and then the flag that went with it, I just thought was neat. So those are the 2 forces. Well, I should say these are the core of the 2 forces. Let me make a little cut here, and I'll explain what I've got planned next. Anyway, what's next? First of all, I painted that accent wall in the basement blue, so I'm hoping when I start making battle reports, that makes it look cooler, or look better than the ugly shade of brown it was before. Anyway, that's an aside, I digress. So I have 2 units left that I need to paint for these forces. I've got another block of billmen and another block of light cavalry that I was going to paint. Although I did learn that cavalry really wasn't that present at this point in the medieval period, so I don't want to overdo it. I don't think 2 small units per side is overdoing it. So we're going to do that. I then, like I said, I've got all those extra command models. Who, by the way, the Perry miniatures, you know, that I bought those from, they do have them named as, you know, specific personalities of the Wars of the Roses. Like this is the Richard Neville or the Kingmaker model, but I've taken certainly liberties with other models, and I plan on doing that as long as they're not, you know, incredibly identifiable. I'm pretty sure, for instance, that this guy is not who I said he was. Or Lord Clifford, I should say. Yeah, pretty open to that. Pretty excited to add those. And then, like I said, I've got that bombard as well, so we're going to add that. Now, let's talk about the rules. So, since I started this project, and I have every intention, and I do have every intention of playing Warhammer Ancient Battles games with you. That's why I put them on these bases and based them as such. I have every intent of doing that. But it's interesting, I have a number of rule sets or versions of those army lists that I could use. There's sort of a PDF I think I downloaded from the Facebook, or is it a Word doc? Sorry, anyway, whatever. But yeah, that's got a number of army lists in it. And then I also got a copy of the Armies of Chivalry book for Warhammer Historical. And funnily enough, they both offer like somewhat different limitations. I believe that, and I'm going to assume that the Word doc version of these rules is more recent than the printed book. I think that came out. It's more of a fan-made thing, but it offers quite a number of restrictions on what force, whether it's Yorkist, Lancaster, or Lancastrian, Yorkist pretenders, tutors, on what they can take that just aren't in the much more robust Armies of Chivalry book. So I'm gonna sort of play that just how I want. Like, you know, those mercenaries could go on either side by definition, right? But for now, yeah, they're siding with the House of Lancaster. Outside of that, as I mentioned, I think in my Historicon haul, I did pick up Test of Resolve rules as well. These might be, I think I don't have quite enough minis to play that, or at least they're probably, I'd have to like split them up or do something base-wise to make that work. However, I do have a lot of Essex Miniatures Wars of the Roses models painted that would totally work for that. So if and when I get around to playing some more Test of Resolve, I'll absolutely be using my Essex Miniatures for that, which only leaves, again, sort of the elephant in the room in terms of rules, Hail Caesar, and again, full shout out, full props, however you'd like to put that, to Seventh Son and all of the inspiration on his YouTube channel. I am savoring that most recent battle report, the siege battle report, like a fine wine. I don't want it to end, but I definitely am excited to give Hail Caesar rules a try, and most likely I'll use Seven Sons modifications or army lists for that. So yeah, all right. Well, anyway, so that all to be said, I'm going to be setting up a game to solo play Historical Warhammer Ancient Battles with these. Probably just going to be a pretty vanilla, like, you know, force on force scenario, not doing anything too crazy. I'm really curious to see how well these knights perform. You know, do I have too many? Do I have not enough? What do we need to do there? And then, the other point I was going to make, I know there are rules, or there's specific rules in Warhammer Historical, or Warhammer, I keep calling it that, Warhammer Ancient Battles, forgive me, to do mixed units. I understand why that's flavorful for the period. I've now learned the term bill and bow, to describe those combined forces. I just don't like the aesthetic of it, and I know I could totally just take, for instance, these are on 2 bases of 10. I know I could take these and you know, stick them like that, or mix the models into the unit. I just don't want to. It's sort of, I don't know, it's like an aesthetic thing to me. Certainly playing Warhammer Fantasy, where they're always fairly bespoke or discrete units. So I'm probably not going to do it. I know that might be a little anti flavor of the period, but I think that's just the way I'm going to play it. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me while I really ramble about these. It's one thing to just be pointing a camera at these things and just randomly spouting off thoughts as they come, but it's another to make sure I kind of cover every point and share what I've done. So whew, that was a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching, and more to come soon.